Rahu Mahadasha, which is actually the most feared Mahadasha after the Saturn. Now Rahu Mahadasha lasts for 18 years. And during these 18 years, the two lines that need to be kept in mind are, keep in mind, life is all the result of choices. The choices we make determines our fate. So this is the time to practice alertness, awareness, introspection, and many other such adjectives that help you know yourself. Now understand the planet of Rahu. The planet of Rahu talks about the grit, the determination, and the resilience within a person. Rahu is a planet which gives you disillusionment, it gives you falsehood, it gives you maya, it gives you greed, it makes you materialistic, it makes you, want all those things be actually what we term as evil thoughts. For me, no thoughts are evil. I feel according to an individual's need, the person starts becoming greedy for that. I may be greedy for having good relationships or multiple relationships, or I may be greedy to experience more wealth, and more is never enough. So we become materialistic, we become greedy, and we want more and more and more. I've already explained about the Rahu Mahadasha. Now I'm going to be patiently explaining to you the Antardashas. I've explained the major period, now I'll be explaining the sub-periods, that when the dragon's head or Rahu Mahadasha takes place. Right, we have these sub-periods in these 18 years for a particular time. Carrying on with my sequences of Antardashas in the Rahu Mahadasha. That means the sub-periods in the major period of the dragon's head or the Rahu. Now, after the Rahu, I had explained of how the Rahu in Rahu, how it is again illusionary, delusionary, how you have to control yourself, and how the ill-placed Rahu can be made into a well-placed Rahu if only you keep your realities in check, if you be determined and if your resilience is strong. Now, after the Rahu period ends, comes the Jupiter period. Now, today we are going to talk about Rahu Mahadasha with a sub-period of Jupiter. That is the Guru planet. Now, the planet of Jupiter or the Guru is perceived to be one of the most benefic planets and the one with supreme true goodness to bestow human beings, while on the other hand, this Rahu, the shadowy planet, is perceived to be fiercely malefic. Now, I've used the word perceived to be fiercely malefic, though according to me it is not a malefic planet. It's basically a planet that just teaches you realism. It completely destroys your your fundaments or the illusions that you have in your mind, and you suddenly are face to face with a reality check. So one hand, the Jupiter, which is supposed to be a benefic planet. Now, why am I saying supposed to be a benefit planet? Because Jupiter actually gives you expansion. Expansion in either which world you choose to expand, positive or negative. Again, it is very relative. What is positive for one could be negative for the other one, but what is negative for one could be positive for the other one. So Jupiter, which is a benefic planet giving you expansion, under the influence of Rahu, which is actually giving you a reality check. Now, so on the arrival of Jupiter, the adverse effects of Rahu to some extent get mitigated and would bring some better judgment and goodness in your life. See, Jupiter is bestowing intelligence, it gives you the wisdom, it gives you the prudence. So when Rahu is throwing all these illusions in your way or delusions in your way or greed on your way and creating all these hurdles or obstacles by the virtue of your mind or wanting you to take certain reality checks and you to be determined, the Jupiter when it bestows intelligence on you, you're able to take those reality checks and be introspective and overcome the obstacles that are coming your way intelligently. So obviously, see, the hurdles will still come, but because of Jupiter, you will be able to overcome them very intelligently. You will experience, now since you're using your intelligence, you will experience some development in your life as you may receive back your respect and influence at workplace. If you remember, I had spoken about Rahu and how you can lose your respect, how you can lose if you don't take a reality check. Now Jupiter gives you the intelligence that, okay, this is where I'm going wrong. That is why the obstacles are coming my way. So now how intelligently I can cover them up, rectify my things. Now once I rectify my wrongs, you win back the respect and you actually start becoming authoritative not only of yourself but also of those around you. So your personality starts shining through as your self-confidence and self-esteem does rise. And every time when we use our intelligence or when we do things intelligently with a little bit of pressure on our mind, you are bound to rise in confidence, your self-esteem is bound to rise, and obviously you start winning your friends all over again, and you would be known for your intelligence and knowledge, besides which you will see a positive growth in your relationships, both in the personal as well as the professional arena. Enemies would be defeated either by friendship or war, and good health will prevail because happiness again sets in when confidence levels are high. So see, it's a very simple phenomena. Jupiter is giving me the intelligence. So it is not that suddenly I have turned into a new leaf. It's basically the energies thrown by the Jupiter are well received in your body and your mind. You start improving in your intelligence. Now, for example, if the Jupiter is ill placed according to some astrologers. See, according to me as an astrologer, I never say that a planet is ill placed or well placed. For me, if a planet is either weak or a planet is strong. And when a planet is weak, that means I need to be forewarned. I need to know that these are the things I'm incapable of doing. If I make an effort or if I build those energies in my body, the weak can become the strong. That is my simple funda in life. Right. Similarly, during this Jupiter period where intelligence is on me, it's easier for me to comprehend the situations as to why they are going wrong. Right, rather than in any other period. When Rahu is there, it's very difficult for me to comprehend. I have to make efforts. But when Jupiter is in my in the sub period, my intelligence is overpowering, so I'm easily able to comprehend and rectify the wrong and make it right. Obviously, then health, wealth, happiness does seem to follow. Now, during this Rahu Jupiter Dasa, you may get inclined towards spiritual aspects and you may pursue some pilgrimages. Now, why does this happen? Why is that follow? Because you suddenly become appreciative of the higher energies and you feel thankful that you've overcome all the obstacles. So it is like a respect you want to pay, and your mind starts accepting the fact that yes, when the energies are balanced in this body by the virtue of the magnetic rays that are thrown by a particular planet, and it is the closest to you as your mind, you pay your respects. So you tend to become spiritual, you tend to become correct, you tend to want to go and take a space or take time out for yourself and converse, have your conversations with your higher energies and with your God. So that's why these things start coming into your mind. You may attain good financial growth and be endowed with good gains in this period, besides which there would be a growth in social status too. See, the growth in social status, or even going for pilgrimages, or even going for a me time or a holiday time with the family, are all a byproduct only if there's money in your bank. And the money in your bank comes through your intelligence of when you utilize your intelligence in your work. So automatically happiness does come in. In a nutshell, I would say Jupiter bestowing the intelligence in your mind helps you to overcome obstacles faster. But Rahu is not malefic, it is not throwing obstacles in your life, it is just testing your intelligence and resilience. While talking about all these major periods and sub periods, it's very important that not to take a generic view of it. My endeavor is to make you understand that when these Antardashas happen, or when these Mahadasas are happening in your life, how should you react and act. But in actual, it's very important to know your natal chart, because once you know your natal chart, you are actually very face to face, or you are aware of your attitudes, and which actually determines your altitude. It's very important to know what is your subconscious mind, how resilient you are or how not resilient you are. So when you go to a learned astrologer and know about your natal chart, that which is the Mahadasa going on you, which is the Antardasa going on you, and which are the energies in your body that are getting affected. By the virtue of energized stones, you can balance those energies in your body and make that particular period in which you are finding the obstacles, or in which you are finding that these things are putting hurdles and you are unable to overcome them, it becomes easier for you to overcome the obstacles. It's something like when a car breaks down, you know that whether the exhaust has broken down, or whether the gas is not being properly pushed, or the pedal, or whatever the various mechanics. So you can probably get an overall view of this is what has happened to the car. For it to run smoothly, you need to reach a mechanic who will rectify that situation. So similarly in life, when you make your natal chart done, you can actually get a view of your real self and how you can make your life successful, what is the period in which your energies can be high. And I don't wait for periods. It's important to know to start your success from the period you realize it, that this is what is happening, this is how I'm going to sow my seeds, and obviously my future life is going to be smooth, it is going to be happy without any fear or clutter in life. So the success starts now. Be aware of your natal chart. Don't feel that you are falling a prey to illusions. Don't feel that these are some kind of studies that make you weak. They don't make you weak. In fact, the study of your own self makes you a much stronger person and a force to reckon with.